Hey, how's it, Statterbox crew? Looks like we have got a little group of folks hanging out. Hi there, Jim McKinnon. It's Toki the bear. He's Smokey's cousin. You got it, babe. That is exactly right. Hadn't thought about that, but it does look like that chonk has been hitting the munchie cabinet a little bit too much. Ready for a zonk. I'm telling you, I don't know what it's like out where you're at, but over here in Seattle, it is nothing but cold. Well, it's actually not that chilly, but it is breezy and rainy and gray. And it just is time for soup and being cozy. So when I saw that bear looking like he is ready for hibernation, I just thought, you know what? It's kind of how I feel after a Thanksgiving meal. I kind of like this. I kind of like this bear. Hey, Poppy Shaney, good to see you. Elaine, good to see you hopping in on the chat. So, as I mentioned, that's the little Thanksgiving bear, and you're thinking to yourself, Thanksgiving bear, what are you talking about? Well, in Canada, they celebrate Thanksgiving at the first, I believe, Thursday in October. So we are, or no, wait, the first, wait, maybe they already had Thanksgiving. Canada has Thanksgiving way earlier than we do. So it's going to be our Thanksgiving bear. I don't know what day they have Thanksgiving anymore. I used to know. I used to know all these things because my mom was Canadian, but I forget. Either way, that's the cozy bear. He's ready to go into hibernations and he's all chubby, just like me. All right. Hey, Devin, good to see you. Excelente. I'm so glad that we've got some folks here on our Thursday Statterbox edition. Now, I want to let you guys know, and I'll be mentioning this a couple times, this is going to be our last Thursday on YouTube because next week we're going to be on Twitch. I figure Thursday is a good day to switch over to Twitch. I've been thinking about switching to Twitch for a while now, and I figure since Andy is multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube, etc., 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 if I switch to Twitch, then on Thursdays everybody can go do a raid for Andy because we always end up on Twitch even though he's mainly on YouTube these days, but whatever, we're a bunch of rebels. So next Thursday we're going to be on Twitch. And I will not be multi-streaming like Andy does because I don't have the technology for that. We will only be on Twitch next Thursday. Same time, different place. So there you go. Kenny Casey, let's see. It looks like, yep, Kenny Casey, good to see you in the house. Yes, my Kenny Casey is my Ed McMahon for that dynamic dame we all sing about around the campfire. And her Statterbox crew, give it up for Mad Statter. There we go, Kenny, love it. Yes, absolutely. All right, so what I'm going to do at the moment is our little Statterbox opening, and I'll be back in a second. All right, it looks like eMusic snuck in the house just as that Chatter with Statter intro was coming in. Poppy Cheney, you've got it. Same bat time, different bat channel. Although it's kind of the same bat channel, different but the same. We always hang out at Twitch anyway. Speaking of hanging out at Twitch, look what I have. Look what I have. I went and got my very own copy of my very own DVD for CoCo because I love the movie so much. I figured it's actually worth adding to my collection. So last night had to go to Target. Let's start again. Okay, so at work yesterday, I was bound and determined to figure out where I could get a copy of CoCo. So I Googled the local Target. Turns out they had two copies in the store right closest to where I was. I have to go past that store on my way home from work. So I was like, oh, that is so perfect. So I did just that. I went into Target and went to the movie thing. And of course, there was no CoCo movie there. There wasn't any. Now, it had been a couple hours since I had checked online. And they said that there was two copies in that store when I checked online. And the movie actually was on sale. So I was like, fudge. It's not really what I said. We're just going to say that's what I said. Maybe they bought the copies, So uh, so yeah. So I went and looked it up again while I was in the store, and it still said, uh-oh, hold on, rewind. Okay, so Elaine, you're seeing a black screen and a repeat ding dong? I don't know about that. It looks good to me, but that doesn't mean that it looks good to everybody. And does that, it looks like, I think maybe Elaine, you might be the only one. Yeah, it looks like Devin's good. So and Poppy Shaney's saying that everything's fine here. So I think that might just be you and your system. So all systems, it sounds like, are not go. Okay, so are you back? But the question is, am I back, Elaine? Am I back? Or am I still black? So, okay. All right, so rewind a little bit. Right, so Poppy Shaney, you're right there. Targets, liar, liar, pants on fire. Or so I thought. So I looked on my phone again and went online, and it still said they had 2 copies in the store. So at that point, I was like, do I want to, what do I want to do? You know? So, hey, Michael Anthony Smith, good to see you popping in. I am regaling y'all with my tale of CoCo, which, trust me, it's more than just, anyway, let me get on with the story. So I decided to, I was almost going to leave the store. In fact, I'd like got to the front, and then I turned around and I was like, no, you know what? I'm actually going to ask someone for help. And so I found a sales associate, and I was like, hey, you know, here, and I showed him on my phone. I showed her on my phone. It says there's 2. It says it's right here on this shelf. I'm not seeing it. Do you have another section that they might be in, or do you know what's up? So she went and looked on her little device, and she was like, it says we have 2 in the store. She's like, let me go check in back. So she went to go check in back, and it took like forever, but eventually she did come up and get this. Now, Kenny Casey, good eye. Are you sure that's a DVD, Mad Statter? It looks like a Blu-ray. Does that matter, Statter? Well, now that's, see, we're getting to the next part of the story. So I get home and I look and I'm like, this kind of looks like a Blu-ray. I don't have a Blu-ray player. I hope it doesn't matter. So I open it up and, what do you know? It's a Blu-ray. So then I like take it out and I realized there was actually, hold on. There was actually a DVD and a Blu-ray and some bonus features, but the bonus features are just on the Blu-ray. So there was 3 different DVDs in this one container, and it just so happens one of the DVDs was a DVD. One of the DVDs was a DVD. How's that for redundant? So I was apprehensive, but then I was excited. Okay, cool. We've got the real life DVD. So then I put the real life DVD in my real life DVD player and I play it, and it plays fine. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just see if it like streams and stuff. So I went to do that, and yeah, it's so encrypted. It's just not even funny. It would not stream, not audio, not nothing, no nothing. And so then I was like, so I tried to like trick it 5 ways from Sunday to stream. And no, Disney, you know, I mean, Disney's, why I even thought that there wouldn't be encryption software on a brand new, well, I mean, it's like 3 years old, but still, I don't know. Encryption software, coated in encryptionite. So, there is a way to remove the encryptionite, as it were, but that is software that A, costs money, and B, requires more technical know-how, and you know, I don't know how. So I thought to myself, all right, I've promised CoCo not only to the peoples, the Statterbox crew, I've kind of promised it to myself, and come hell or high flipping water, we're gonna watch CoCo. So, you know what I did? That's right, I did it. I'm gonna screw the big D. While I went and ran my errands today, set up the gimbal Thank you very much, Terry Gilmore, by the way, if you're here. Set up the gimbal and played the movie, and I recorded the movie on my cell phone from my computer. Yeah, like those super ghetto bootlegs you can buy on the street in New York with the hidden camera in the cap in the movie theater and everything. Yeah, that's what I did, sort of. So I recorded my computer playing the movie. And then I tested it to see if it would stream, and it was upside down. So I don't really know what that was all about, but I know how to fix the upside down part. So we have CoCo. Yeah, it's a slightly wonky version, but it's 1,000 times better than what we had to watch for Rollerball. It's 1,000 times better than what we had to watch for Medea's Boo whatever. It's 1,000 times better than the frustration that we had with Goonies. So forget about it, man. It'll be a little bit, the audio will be a little bit bass heavy and echoey, and the video will have an interesting sheen to it, but you can see everything that's going on. You know everything that's going on. You can hear everything that's going on. It's not a slideshow. It's an actual movie. So, yeah, Statterbox at the cinema. This Saturday on Twitch, come hell or high water, it's time for CoCo. I don't care. I do not care. We are doing it. CoCo. All right. So, Kenny Casey. So basically we're having a hot CoCo Saturday. That is exactly it, my friend. So, yeah. So while we're on Twitch on Saturday, you'll be able to experience the 2 new emotes that I actually have now for folks. I don't have tier 2 and don't have tier 3 created yet, but I do have 2 emotes for my tier 1 folks, and they're a Prel Dot and a Super Stoked. Now, the Super Stoked is, we'll just say a little bit hamajang. But I figure if there is a stream that is all about a little bit hamajang, well, I know we know it ain't Andy anymore, because he's way too slick to be hamajang. Me, on the other hand, I can take up that torch any day. So, yeah, that's how that goes. So, the Super Stoked emote will be fine-tuned eventually, but I figured I wanted to get something out there, and gall dung it, I had a vision. It was a vision that didn't translate well to reality, but I had a vision, and you guys will share and experience the vision of the Super Stoked emoji. That is, if you are going to join us on Twitch, because I will be throwing the Super Stoked emoji a lot. Hopefully nobody will get the Prel, but we'll whip out the Prel if we have to. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, all right. Let's see here. While I was babbling, it looks like a bunch of people were saying hi. And okay, good. Yeah, people are stoked for CoCo. And good. Let's see here. Yeah, Michael Anthony Smith, Kryptonite. Kryptonite, I mean, that's how I feel about what they've done to the DVDs to thwart people like me who may or may not be breaking a law. But it's just us it's just the Statterbox crew and our friends, right? Okay, yeah. So that is the update for the Twitch this Saturday. And then for folks who might have not been here at the very beginning, Twitch is where we're going to be moving for Thursdays, because Thursdays, we can then raid into Andy. And since today is Andy Day, we're obviously just going to have to manually raid over to his channel on YouTube or on Twitch, or both, as I've been known to do. So at 6 p.m., we will be winding this show up. And so, as all I might need a reminder when it comes close to 6 p.m. So, let's all of us watch the clock, shall we? Yes. Let's all of us watch this clock. Because, we want to make sure that we hit Andy when Andy goes live at that 6 p.m. Alrighty. So, as you guys might have noticed, I had the little Chonky bear, and I really didn't have much to talk about today except for cute Chonky animals, and so I wanted to share that Chonky that chonky bear. And I did, oh, I remember now. I had something else I want to talk about. All right, so last episode of randomness, we were talking an awful lot about, wild animals and this, that, and the other thing. And we were talking a lot about elk. And as it turns out, I did a little research and oh gosh, I don't think the stencils are here, which is too bad because I'm just about to talk about Wisconsin. But e-music is here, so there we go. As it turns out, so I mentioned before that the elk that we have in Washington State are of two varieties and then a hybrid of the two varieties. We got the Roosevelt over on Olympic Peninsula, and we've got the Rocky Mountain elk in eastern Washington, and then we have a hybrid of the two in the Cascade Mountain Range closer to Seattle. So as it turns out, the Rocky Mountain elk are actually kind of, I don't know, misnamed. I think they're sort of misnamed. They The Rocky Mountain elk are actually the kind of elk that you're going to find in Kentucky. They're the kind of elk you're going to find in Michigan. They're the kind of elk you're going to find in Minnesota. They're the kind of elk you're going to find in Wisconsin. So if you see those elk in that area, they're actually the Rocky Mountain elk. And this I found interesting. In Wisconsin, the elk are considered endangered. And so there is no elk hunting in Wisconsin, which to me is sort of flabbergasting because of all, like, growing up in the Pacific Northwest, my family did not hunt, but I knew a lot of people who did hunt. I mean, a lot of people who hunted. And elk is universally what you go hunting for. I mean, you can go hunting for deer, you can go hunting for bear, you can go hunting for all sorts of things. As it turns out, you can hunt for coyotes all year round in Washington State. It's literally open season on coyotes. But like, basically elk is what people go for. And so to have the elk be endangered to such a degree that you can't even hunt them anymore, that just seems so, I don't know, so bizarre. Because, and yeah, that's right, we're going to play this again because we talk so much about the Pacific Northwest. I like to show off, other things and stuff. And so to me, Darlene and Rick, well, they have access to some pretty good woods that I would like to think that the elk would like to live in. What do you guys think?
Hey, Mad Statter and Chatters. This is Rick S.
And Darlene S.
Sitting on top of a bluff in the area around our cabin. Thought we'd stop in and say hi. And I don't know when you're going to see this, but we're not going to be here.
Show us, and we're going to show you some pretty scenery. No, behind us. To the side.
Sure.
Hi, Mad Statter. Darlene S. here. We're on a hike up north in the fall, and the lighting isn't the best. It's been partly gray today, but this is a bluff called Wildcats Mound that we like to walk and climb. Hi, Darlene here, trying to get a good shot of the top of the bluff looking down over the forest. This is the best I can do with partially cloudy skies. Pretty pretty from this point of view, but hard to show with the camera. Really, really nice.
All right, so to me that looks like prime elk ground to me, and so I hope that the elk bulk their populations up. So, if nothing else, so the local tribes are able to hunt for them, because it looks like eMusic is saying that elk have a relationship with many of the Native American tribes around there. That doesn't really surprise me. If they were at one point as prolific in Wisconsin as they are in the Pacific Northwest, you would think it's a huge food source for the tribes. Not to mention the leathers and the skins and the antlers. All the things, all of the things. Yeah. So, Poppy Shaney, I I really do love that drop. I love that they did a drop, but more than I love that they did a drop, I love the drop that they did. Like that's exactly the most, that's, if you guys can get footage like, just the panoramic view of whatever is prettiness near you, I am super stoked to share it with everybody. Lord knows you guys have had to, sit through my my neighborhood more than once. So let's see what you guys got. And Kenny, you're right. If you hunt the coyotes, what are the roadrunners going to do for motivation? Well, in Washington State, we don't have any roadrunners, so it's not really that important. But you're right. We need to think of the Acme Corporation. How are they going to turn a profit without coyotes? Yeah. eMusic, I don't think they went back to their cabin because I think Rick just closed it up last week. But yeah, they're probably out busy doing stuff, and they can always catch the stream later on. And my best guess is they know what it is that this they already know. They already saw that video. So, but yeah, so that is the update on the elks, etc. And now, Michael Anthony Smith, you were saying, that you love animals, as I think many of us here do. Little pro tip that you guys may or may not know about. There's this program that hold on one second, I have notes about it. Let's see, I think it's the Department of Wildlife or something. Hold on. Let me see if I can read my notes. Oh, here we go. It's the Migratory Bird Conservation Fund. The Migratory Bird Conservation Fund that started in 1929 by President Hoover. And there's these things, and I didn't grab a picture off the internets today because of reasons. Actually, it was because of CoCo. I was struggling with CoCo. So I didn't really prep for this show very well. Much apologies, you guys. This was definitely today was not a day of time management, shall we say. Anyway, so the Migratory Bird Fund, you can actually buy these things called duck stamps, and they're federal stamps, and they're hunting permits that everybody who is going to hunt waterfowl must have this duck stamp in their permit collection or whatever. But if you buy a $15 stamp, $14.70 worth of that $15 actually goes towards purchasing and maintaining and restoring waterfowl wildlife habitat in the United States. So even if you're not a hunter, you can actually help create more habitat for migratory waterfowl if you buy a hunting permit, as it were, a little duck stamp. And there's two types of duck stamps, actually, both of which the money goes towards the Migratory Bird Fund. But there's the hunter kind, and then there's the collector kind. So they're basically identical stamps. It's just that the hunter kind comes with a piece of paper that you tear off that then you have to fill in details to tell the results of your hunt. If you've ever gotten a fishing permit or a hunter's permit or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You have to report everything you catch, where you caught it, what day, what time, blah, blah, blah. So the difference between the collector stamp and the hunting stamp is one of them has the reporting form attached to it. The other one doesn't. I think they both cost the same, but yeah, if you're interested in helping animals, in a very counterintuitive way, go buy a duck hunting permit. So, there you go. Let's see. Oh, Michael Anthony Smith, next time you go home to Maryland, you'll send me something? Perfect. Yeah, Maryland. Gosh, I've never been to Maryland. I don't really know many people from Maryland. Definitely, I would be super stoked to see what Maryland's all about. Maryland has a huge amount of seashore, so relative to the size of the state, right? So yeah, I have no doubt that there's probably some pretty good looking vistas, as it were. Vistas, whatever. Yeah. So Michael Anthony Smith, when you get paid, you'd buy it. You're a vegetarian, not much of a hunter. Yeah, well, exactly. I wouldn't be able to hunt first off, no guns, so I wouldn't be able to hunt much, but, no, I can't even imagine hunting a duck. Like, how did they know when to? Yeah, I'm not one of those. I'm not a marksman. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I'm not a marksman. Um, but let's see here. So waterfowl, yeah, waterfowl leads me to. Uh-oh, that's not what I want to do. No, there we go. All right, so um, speaking of water and stuff, I was reading just this the other day, and I've told you guys about this, but further proof. All right, so we've talked about Native American tribes in the Salish, and this here is a picture of part of the Salish Sea, and uh, and basically, if you see this tiny little red dot that's kind of like in the lower middle of the picture, that is a location where one of the few locations in the Puget Sound where we have ancient petroglyphs that are tens of thousands of years old and evidence of long standing Native American tribes in the area. And I would like to show you the petroglyphs that I am speaking of. Now, these are obviously incredibly worn with time. At the same time, they really look like a bunch of faces, right? So, and that's what they are supposed to be, is a bunch of faces. And apparently on the side, people have seen images of salmon as well. But the kayaker who took these pictures, the kayaker, by the way, is obviously that dude that was in the picture. He said that he couldn't find any of the salmon. It was only the faces that he could see. But still, I thought this was super cool. I had no idea that we had petroglyphs up here in the Puget Sound. Although once it was pointed out that we did, I wasn't necessarily surprised. Yeah. So I just thought, I thought it was super cool, and I thought I would share with you guys something that I thought was super cool. And yeah, so that's the little petroglyph slideshow I've got going on here for the Puget Sound area. Like I said, this particular set of petroglyphs can be found in the lower reaches of the Puget Sound Basin. I mean, like as deep into the Puget Sound as you're gonna get. Is where this is located. That little red dot is where it's located. I'm not going to tell you the name of the town. The petroglyphs are technically on private property, although if you approach them at the right tide from the water, you're technically legal-ish. Yeah, if you care to pull up a map, you can figure out where this is on your own. But yeah, basically, it is in Mason County, which is one county over from where I grew up in Kitsap. And yeah, I just thought that was super flippin' cool. So that's just how that works. And let's see here. It looks like, oh, Michael Anthony Smith, you lived in the mountains in Maryland. I didn't know that Maryland had mountains, so I'm definitely interested in seeing what kind of photographs you might get from the Maryland mountains. I mean, what? And yeah, I'm not at all surprised that they don't understand Pidgin. They don't really understand Pidgin in the Pacific Northwest either, so not at all surprised. Yeah, Devin, Puget Sound is amazing. I mean, if you can have 6-gill sharks and orcas hanging around, that's one special place. And Pappy Shaney, I really dig anything that's historical, especially this. Yeah, I always thought of petroglyphs as something that's like, well, something that's on Hawaii or something that's in the deserts of like Utah and things. It never occurred to me that there might be petroglyphs in the Puget Sound area, despite the fact that I know that there's been human inhabitants in this area for tens of thousands of years. It just never crossed my mind that we would have something that flippin' cool. And I'm kind of glad you guys are maybe digging on it. I really wasn't sure if anyone was just be like, yeah, so what? It's a rock with ridges. So I'm so glad that we're all equally geeky here. And Devin, yeah, Puget Sound, I already read your comment about Puget Sound being amazing, but to go back on that, because it is, I've mentioned this before, but Jacques Cousteau, one of his favorite places to dive was the Puget Sound, which to me still is shocking. I mean, like, what? We've got that much cool underwater stuff just out there. Apparently, yes. Apparently, we do. So yeah, the Puget Sound is supremely awesome in its own way. I just I guess maybe I should stop talking about how awesome it is, because I wish so many people would stop moving here, right? Hey, Ann Ware, good to see you here. You haven't missed much. I'm sorry you're late too. You haven't missed too much, but you know what? We're going to go back. I'm going to go back because it was awesome. I'm going to show you what maybe you missed. And we are talking about the petroglyphs in the Puget Sound. And this is just a short slideshow of a rock that is in the back portion of the Puget Sound, as deep into the Puget Sound as you're going to get, basically. You can find a rock that has petroglyphs from, well, tens of thousands of years old. And so, yeah, I was just sharing that with the gangy. I thought that everyone might be as equally stoked to see this awesomeness as I am, even though I don't know what tribe. I know nothing about the history of this particular pet. Actually, I'm not even sure really anybody knows. It's so long ago. I don't really know if there is much history that the white man is aware of. Now, as far as oral histories amongst the local tribes, I'm very curious what is known. But the article that I read, it sounds like us white folk. Yeah, we don't really know much about this. Don't know much about this at all. Yeah. So, so that's, and then, Anne, you might have missed because you came in late, and that's okay. I'm going to get you caught up. This Saturday, we're going to be watching CoCo for Statterbox at the cinema. I won't get into that story, but we will be watching it. And then the other thing I wanted to remind you or let you know is next Thursday, we're going to be on Twitch. I'm making a slow Twitch switch. And so Thursdays and Saturdays, we're going to be on Twitch. I might even just move everything over on Sundays to Twitch as well. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Sunday. But basically, next Thursday is when this same time, 4:30 p.m. West Coast time, but it's going to be on Twitch instead of on YouTube. That way we can do a raid to Andy's show. That's my logic. So, so that's how that goes. I think you're basically all caught up. And so, Michael Anthony Smith, exactly. Yeah, we don't know much about anything. And what we think we know, it's like, oh, you got that story all backwards and wrong, One of the, this isn't really a story, but one example of how white people are just like, you really don't get that, do you? All right, so totem poles, right? Have you ever heard the phrase low man on the totem pole? And that phrase means the lowest priority one, the one that's least important. Yeah, that's the absolute backwardsest of backwards that you could ever be backwards. The low man on the totem pole is the most important one. The low man on the totem pole is the one holding up everything. So yeah, we kind of misunderstood that, didn't we? Yeah, exactly, Kenny. White folks being woefully uninformed about Indigenous people's history. Who'd have thunk it? Who would have ever guessed? Precisely. So that's my little diatribe there. We should probably, because that topic is very close to politics, and I kind of like to dance around, but not too deeply into these topics. I'm going to throw on a little bit of a holo, and we can chat about things and stuff. I'm not really sure what things and stuff we're going to be chatting about because, like I said earlier today, this particular stream I was not preparing for. I was preparing for the Saturday movie. I was trying to prepare for our Sunday stream, which will be happening on Halloween. And I was thinking we could have a little bit of a paranormal discussion or spooky stories. And so, if you guys have ever seen a ghost, thought you saw an alien, whatever the heck, scary little story, I would love for you to think about them, and we can talk about that on Sunday. Or if it's like a super long and in-depth story that you can't really tell because of chat limitations, if you guys want to shoot me an email with that story, mattstatter@gmail.com, I will then bring the story to the gangy, the Statterbox crew, and I can read the scary little story, and we can talk about how freaky it is. So yeah, that is the plan for Sunday. I hope you guys, I've got a story or two that's, kind of spooky. Yeah, I've got a story or two that's kind of spooky. And so I hope you guys at least have some little personal spooky stories that you want to share with the rest of us. This particular, where am I? Oh, this is right near where I work. Yes, there we go. Oh, whoops. Hold on. No. Thank you, Anne. I didn't realize my media source had been turned on. I needed to turn that off. So sorry about the extraneous noise, you guys. That was unintentional. See, this was a last-minute addition to the show, and I didn't do all of my prep work. You guys, I need to start doing my prep work earlier. No, Anne, yeah, thank you for telling me, because I don't have my earplugs in right now, so I'm literally monitoring by mixer video, visually watching the mixer, and unfortunately that media source was out of the realm of my screen, so I didn't even notice that it was all being loud. And oh yeah, Kenny, can you talk about the disembodied voice you heard at Dead Man's Hole near Marble Falls? Absolutely you can. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of story that we're looking for Sunday, because Sunday, Sunday is the Halloweeny spirit. So yeah, that's precisely what we're looking for. And not just, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like, spooky Halloween kind of, dead people spirit stuff. I had a bit of I'm sure it wasn't an alien encounter, but like seriously, it scared me. It was scary. And I would consider that a paranormal experience, even though I don't know what the heck it was. And yes, and I did absolutely just blow through that stop sign. You better believe I did. I know that I know that intersection, and I knew, yeah, I blew through that stop sign. You better believe I did. So, all right. So, hey, I don't know if you guys remember my story about walking down the street to a 7-Eleven and running across a great blue heron. That 7-Eleven that was on the left-hand side of the screen just a few seconds ago, that was the 7-Eleven I was walking to from the house that I used to live at. And so this is the kind of area that this great blue heron was like just in someone's yard on the other side. Like I was walking down the street that we are just now crossing, 16th Avenue Southwest. And it was, great blue herons hang out in some of the strangest places in the Pacific Northwest. If you've got a pond in your yard, you just might have a great blue heron or a kingfisher coming to visit you and taking advantage of that free buffet. Oh, sure, it's not free for you. Those koi were expensive, but they're awfully tasty to those brightly colored orange fish. Those are just the best as far as the kingfishers and the great blue herons are concerned. Okay, cool, Michael Anthony Smith. I hope you come back soon. Got to do what you got to do. Yeah, and so if I remember correctly, this video is going to be, we're going to be hitting, what are we going to be doing? I think we're going to be hitting I-5 and I think we're going to be going to downtown Seattle, but I might be making that up. So let's find out. Hey, Cindy, good to see you. You're hanging out, B&K. See, and Cindy is here, and she is part of the content that I did not get loaded up today, which sucks. Cindy has sent me a couple of videos and a couple pictures of this super awesome project that she's done or doing. I'm not sure if it's done yet. And no, I haven't shown them, even though she sent it to me weeks ago. And it's just because I keep forgetting. So next Sunday, we might just have something for Cindy from Cindy Krause, because Cindy Krause, she's working on something at her house and it's super awesome, but I'm not going to let you guys know until I can show it. So there you go. Medium 7 Up, looks like you just slid on in, and we are now watching a Holo heading into downtown Seattle from my workplace. I had to fill up my my rear tire was flat, and I didn't realize it. I remember now when I did this video. I got on the freeway and suddenly realized my rear end of my car was just like swinging all over the place. And I thought to myself, oh, I'll bet you I've got a flat tire in the back. And so I went to the gas station and said, yep, I do. So after the gas station, which is where this Holo started, then we went to downtown Seattle. So we're on our way to downtown Seattle. And now everybody's caught up. And yeah, I didn't blow this stop sign because this stoplight is really long. So there, that's that. So medium 7 Up. Miles, we showed a picture that you may have seen because it was the thumbnail of a super chonky bear, because it's chonky bear time. It's the cozy time for the year, right? Chonky bears. And I'm just wondering, in Boston, is it as fall worthy as it is here in Seattle with the wind and the rain and everything's? Because today, all I wanted to do was just stay in bed and be cozy. And, well, so now we're sitting here without proper preparation for this particular stream. And yeah, there we go. That's how that worked. Oh, crumb. You know what, you guys? I always forget to do this. Pardon me. How about we add some Lono tunes? Yeah. No, medium 7 Up. Well, you probably do have bears in Boston. They're just not the kind of bears that are in the picture for the thumbnail. Yes. So yeah, it's gotten chilly, but too warm for a winter coat. Yeah, that's what it's like here in Seattle. Yesterday, I like totally bundled up, and then I like started to sweat and was like, okay, I think I overdid that. So yeah, it's not nearly as cold as it looks, but gosh, it is super gray today, and the rain is just coming in sideways. So it's just like, I just want to be cozy. And that bear looked like he was ready to stay cozy, so I thought it was a good little picture to do for the day. And Kenny Casey, some days it's just hard to win the battle of the blankets. Oh, you are telling me, my friend. You are telling me. Oh, medium 7 Up. You might live with a bear. There you go. Oh, hey, speaking of bears and otters and things like that, and Miles, you were like, I don't know if we've got seals. Seals are dudes that are built like a swimmer. So like they're, bears are kind of chubby and furry, and then otters are like just skinny and furry, and then seals are like Michael Phelps. Seals are the guys that are hairless but like built like a swimmer. So that's what a seal is, just so you guys know. And yeah, well, I guess, Kenny, you bring up a good point. The fact that they have Bruins, and they do have Bruins in Boston. That is true. Really, Anne, there is no bears over in, I know that in the city area, obviously there's no bears, but they don't have black bears over I always get Michigan and Minnesota confused. In Minnesota, really? Or they must on the Upper Peninsula, right? Wait, no, Michigan is the one with the Upper Peninsula. Minnesota is the one with the lakes. Oh my God. Anne, you're from Minnesota, right? Not the lake. No. Really? They don't have bears wherever it is you're from, Anne? It's Minnesota, right? Am I, or is it Michigan? No, it's not Michigan. You're from Minnesota, right? I'm sorry, M State people. I get those two confused. You're too close to each other on the map. I don't get Maine confused with you, because Maine's over there. I don't get Maryland confused with you, because Maryland's over there too, but different over there. But Michigan and Minnesota, I get confused. And yeah, Anne, I would like to see Michael Phelps race against a seal as well, actually. I had never really, even though I was the one who brought up the comparison, I had never thought of that. I would like to see, I would be willing to, I'd put my money on the seal. I mean, I have to think about it, but I'd put my money on the seal. Okay, Anne. All right. Okay, cool. So, you are in Minnesota. I'm not just making that up. And there are bears in Minnesota, which makes sense. Just not near the Twin Cities where you are. Got it. Excellent. Yeah, the picture of the bear that is on my thumbnail is from Ocean Shores, Washington, which is a resort town on the coast. And quite honestly, even though I knew that there were bears on the Olympic Peninsula, I really didn't think of Ocean Shores as like a bear destination, because it is so populated. It's actually, Ocean Shores is actually probably one of the biggest cities on the coast of Washington. I wouldn't say it's a big city by any stretch of the imagination, but it is very developed. I mean, like a ton of hotels. It's probably where aside from Seattle proper, which of course has its own set of tourism, like Ocean Shores is probably like the biggest tourist destination Washington has to offer for most folks. And so I was kind of surprised to see this picture of this bear that was just like clearly in an area with fire hydrants and mailboxes. But yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, e-music, of course. Yeah, I figured there had to be bears in upper Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin. I just, it's pretty amazing actually how many bears are in places that you just don't really think of bears being. Like the county that I grew up in, I didn't realize that we had bears. Apparently we had more bears in that county than we do people. And I had never in my entire life seen a bear in my whole entire life. I think I already said that. So yeah, bears are everywhere, oddly enough. So let's see here. Yeah. And Kenny's coming in with an example. I never would have thought we'd have bears in Texas, but they do have wild Mexican black bears in Big Bend National Park. Oh, and your YouTube froze up. No, we're just talking about bears and all the places they are and all the places you wouldn't think they'd be where they are. So I don't think you missed very much. Nope, not at all. But, yeah, so cozy bears are cozy, and right now on this Holo, we are not anywhere. I don't think we're anywhere that I would like to see a bear. This is Georgetown, and it's south of Seattle. It's a very industrial area. However, I've seen a bear probably not, but 5 miles from this area on the side of the freeway, actually, on 405 one morning. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning or something. I saw a family, well, a mom and her 2 cubs just hanging out in the grass on the side of the freeway. I honestly thought I was like hallucinating, but then I confirmed that what I thought was a bear really was a bear. Yeah, so bears really are flipping everywhere. And yeah, Michael Anthony Smith, you're back. And 7-Eleven. Yeah, we got a lot of 7-Elevens in my area. I don't know what I would do without my 7-Eleven. As I was saying on Terry from Scotland's stream the other day, just yesterday, actually, I probably go to my 7-Eleven at least once a day. And just yesterday, not only I went to 7-Eleven and the guy behind the counter gave me a free Red Bull because he said, "You're my number one best customer." And I think he actually gave me the Red Bull because he knew that the flavor of Red Bull that I prefer, the yellow kind, they were all out of it. And so I had to like try the new winter pomegranate flavor. I still haven't tried that yet. And he knew he knew that they didn't have my flavor and I was, slumming it by getting a different flavor. I think this is why I got the free. And so he gave me the free 7-Eleven, or not the free 7-Eleven, the free Red Bull. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, and where in Colorado Springs there are 7-Elevens on every intersection. Seriously, dude. In Burien, we have 2 7-Elevens that I can think, no, 3 7-Elevens that I can think of, and 2 Jack in the Boxes. In fact, if I wanted to go to Jack in the Box, I have a choice of 2 different Jack in the Boxes, both of which are less than a mile from my house. And so, yeah, I don't know what it is about Burien that loves Jack in the Box and 7-Eleven, but there you go. Yeah, so here we are on northbound I-5 heading into Seattle. As you can see, the Emerald City skyline is there in the distance, we're approaching that Emerald City. And yeah, medium 7-Up, best customer. That's great. Yeah, I think he thinks of me as his best customer for a couple reasons. First off, I'm there all the time, have been since forever. In fact, when I was sick with pneumonia, I didn't go to that 7-Eleven or anywhere for almost like 2.5, 3 weeks. And when I finally did get back to 7-Eleven, they were like, "Oh my God, where have you been? We've been concerned. We thought you moved. We thought you died. We blah, 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 blah." So they were very happy to see me. Yeah. And also the guy that gave me the free soda, he, he's a big dude. Like, I don't know where he's from, somewhere in India, I think, but he's a really tall, honestly, he looks like he could be Hawaiian, or Samoan, like he's flipping huge. And every once in a while, cause it's 7-Eleven and it's a convenience store, you get rowdy people who are just being jerks. And I have on several occasions when he's gotten the baseball bat out, I've sort of come to back him up, as it were, threatening people. Like there was this one chick who was just out of control and I basically threatened her with my 12-pack of beer. It was just like, "You want me to go swinging with this?" And he was getting the baseball bat and, so I think he considers me a good customer for a lot of different reasons. And where I don't know what kind of pine trees you might have seen, but my best guess is you're looking at these dark green Douglas Fir trees. They're technically not pine trees. Now, even though they're technically not pine trees, every single person in the Puget Sound refers to what comes off of them as pine cones. Technically speaking, they're fir cones, but whatever, we do call them pine cones, but they're actually not pine trees at all. They're Douglas fir trees. The needles are maybe only an inch long as opposed to pine trees, which the needles are much longer. Pine trees also, the needles tend to come out in like clumps, like 2 or 3 needles come out of one follicle, for lack of a better word. Whereas the fir trees, only one needle comes out of each follicle. It's not a follicle. It's because it's a tree. But firs, yes, they are absolutely. They are in the coniferous family of trees. Absolutely, they are. Yeah, and they're evergreen coniferous evergreen trees. Not all coniferous trees are evergreens, but they are a evergreen coniferous tree, which is why I really like the Pacific Northwest, because the Doug firs are, I would say, like the Doug firs, the hemlocks and the spruce are probably, and some yew are probably our main evergreen trees, as it were. So you've got this background of like constant greenery. And then, as you can see, you've got the other deciduous trees that lose their leaves, that have this vibrant rainbow of colors that are, to me, like they just pop against that green, which is why I argue, and I have no doubt that these are fighting words, but this is why I argue that the Pacific Northwest just might have better fall colors than New England. I know. They're fighting words. I know. That is a fighting statement. I know. Oh, I know. Oh, awesome. It went to the 60s today. So, that is nice and warm, Michael Anthony Smith. Yeah, I think it only got to be like 50 something today, although I still drank my iced coffee. But yeah, 60, that's quite lovely. Pennsylvania, 60. All right, good on ya. And hey, Belly Bear, good to see you. Just disputing a charge from your canceled airline trip. That is so frustrating. I'm glad it was you and not me. Sorry, not trying to pour salt on a wound, but I probably would have gotten you put in jail if I was advocating for you. I get irate when I have to just give me my money back. Yeah. So this, this fancy pants drive that we're doing right now is, we're getting off onto what's known as Pill Hill, First Avenue or First Hill in Seattle. This is where most of the hospitals, etc. are. Harborview Hospital is just up the street. Harborview is the public hospital in Seattle. It's our only level 1 trauma center in the Puget Sound. So if you get a gunshot wound, you go into Harborview. And speaking of Harborview and trauma centers, so I dated with this guy once who, back in the day, like 20 plus years ago, he got into a huge car accident. He had to be airlifted to Harborview. Doctors in his chest, pumping his heart the whole time with their hands to make sure that, he survives, etc. And then he spent like months and months and months and months in Harborview rehabbing. So he had this nurse, and the day that he was admitted to the trauma center was the same day as the first day of this nurse who had, she was a brand new nurse, first day at Harborview. And so she took care of him for many months, and there you go. So 20 some odd years later, this guy gets into a motorcycle accident and gets sent to Harborview again. And lo and behold, you know who his nurse was? She took a look at his chart and was like, "You have got to be kidding me." And he looked at her and he was like, "You have got to be kidding me." And so they got a good laugh out of it. And actually, she was kind of happy to see him because not too many trauma nurses get to have the same patient twice in Harborview. As a general rule, once you leave Harborview, you ain't coming back because you're either in a body bag or you're just not stupid enough to get into another accident that will get you into Harborview. But, he maybe was stupid enough to get into another accident. There he had to be in Harborview. But yeah, I just thought that was the funniest thing. Nurse and him were just like, "You've got to be kidding me." Yeah, there you go. And Belly Bear, lots of trees, even downtown. Yeah, that was, so a few days ago, a couple streams ago, whenever ago, I'm not going to tell you when because I don't remember. We did a Holo that started from where this one stopped and went through downtown Seattle to see all the beautiful fall colors. That particular video was taken just, I guess maybe last week or the week before, literally right before the storms came in and swept all of the leaves off of the trees. So we are so fortunate to have evidence of pretty fall time that did exist for a minute in Seattle. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. So, Michael Anthony Smith, you got to talk to your girlfriend for the first time this week. Swoon. Oh, that's so sweet. Isn't it amazing how the person that you just, who your heart's beating for, the days will drag on if you don't hear from them. I have a particular crush on someone and, didn't hear from for like 3 days. They had good reason, but it was just like, I'm all pouty now. I want to hear from them. And then of course, when I did hear from them, it's like huge smile on my face. So, the music is, you're right. The music is quiet. Why is the music quiet? Uh-oh, hold on. Well, that's annoying that the music decided to stop being music. Thank you for letting me know that the music stopped being music, Michael Anthony Smith. Hopefully, hopefully the music can be music again now. See, I don't have those monitoring earphones in, and I just did not even notice that the music had stopped. So, and where the end of my Holo was in a fancy, beautiful neighborhood. Yeah, actually, no, it's not a fancy, beautiful neighborhood. Well, no, let me rephrase that. It is a beautiful neighborhood. And it is an older neighborhood, which is part of the reason why it's so flippin' beautiful. But really, it's not that much of a residential area. It's actually like it's a lot of hospitals and doctors in that area. It's called Pill Hill for a reason. And, you know, there's some... where I was parked in front of was where one of my clients lives, and she lives in, like, it's an assisted living facility, you know, a retirement home, but basically like retirement homes and hospitals. I don't know what's there, but yeah, super beautiful section of town, because it is so old and all the trees are so old, and you know, I mean, well, you saw, so yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's the gorgeous older architecture. Precisely. Yeah. So Michael Anthony Smith in Pennsylvania have all kinds of convenience stores. Yeah, we have a, you know, I mean, we have more than just 7-Eleven, but we seem to have like an odd number of the proportion of 7-Elevens we have, I feel, is just higher than most neighborhoods, most areas, that is. So, I mean, like, yeah. So, like I was saying, less than a mile from my house, I've got 2 Jack in the Boxes. And I would say I've got 3 7-Elevens that are within a mile and a half of my house. So, also within walking distance, I guess. Yeah, a lot of them. Let's see here. Belly Bear wants to know which CD has Heaven at 131 in it. That's a really good question, and off the top of my head, I do not know, but Ann Ware looks like she is on it, so the Lonobrarian will be getting back to us with that answer in just a little bit. Speaking of OS... Yeah, OS 5, that sounds about right. I was getting 5 confused with 10, and I was like, and there is no OS 10, but 10 isn't a V. 5 is a V. So yeah, OS 5. And this reminds me of something that I didn't speak of a couple streams ago that I said I was going to get back to. I believe it was eMusic who was like, I'm thinking about buying a Lono album. Which Lono album should I get? And I think it might have been Anne. Somebody. I think it was Anne who was like, oh yeah, Old Style 4 is the best. And I agree, Old Style 4 is one of the best. I can't say which is the best because I will argue with myself until dawn over which is the best. Because it's like, yeah, but what about, oh, I forgot about it. Yeah, but what about, oh, that's right, that one's the best too. So, which one, yeah, Anne, you're exactly, which one's the best? All of them, you know, really, yeah. So, but eMusic, you were wondering which one you should get, right? So I guess my first question is, do you want, okay, so this is really stupid, but, okay, I guess, all right, so I call it his Hawaiian stuff versus secular stuff, which is totally, like, that's not even right. So really what it is it's his traditional stuff versus Hawaiian stuff. So traditional would be all the old style stuff. The Hawaiian, you know, fun music would be the Maui style and Radio Kihei, etc., etc. So I guess my question is, if you were thinking of buying a Lono CD, which genre of the CDs would you be more interested in? The Maui style and stuff, or the old style, more traditional stuff? Now, if you were going to say the, you know, the fun beach music, that's, you know, the Hawaiian stuff, I would say that Radio Kihei is probably the best bang for your buck. It's got a lot of songs that you probably already know. And I don't know, I really, Radio Kihei to me is a super fun album. That being said, you know, Maui Looks Beautiful from Molokai, Maui Stylin', these are all really good albums too. But if you were going to say, no, my choice would be the old style, traditional stuff, honestly, I feel like Old Style 5 for me is the best one to start with. And the reason why I say it's the best one to start with is because for me, I kind of like to buy an album that I know the songs from. And Old Style 5 has a lot of songs that Andy has, you know, a lot of the songs on Old Style 5. You're going to pick up Old Style 5, and you're going to be like, yep, I know that song, I know that song, I know that song, I know that song. And so you're going to already know what you're getting and know that you're going to like it with Old Style 5. Now, that being said, Old Style 3 and 4 and 7. Old Style 3 and 4 are I think Old Style 3 and 4 are more of my favorites than Old Style 5, but 3, 4, and 5, I think if I had to pick one, I'd pick those three. So yeah, that is where I'm gonna guide you. So Radio Kihei, if you're into the holiday or the summertime fun Hawaiian jams, and then Old Style 5 for the traditional. But ask me tomorrow and I might have a very different answer. So I'm very curious what other people might suggest, because Anne and I are kind of on the same wavelength, which is like, I don't know, all of them. That's the one you should start with, all of them. But that's not realistic. So yeah. So I want to know if anybody else has ideas about what would be a good starter Lono album for eMusic. And Cindy Krause, I want to thank you for reminding everybody to hit this like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, hit the notification button if you haven't been notified. And yeah, definitely hit the like button, because the like button apparently is super important for the algorithms. And I do want to be recognized by Al Gore and his rhythm section within YouTube. So let's see here. Michael Anthony Smith. So look at the city. The Pennsylvania lights up the fall. If you can get some video of that, I'd be super stoked to show that too. Yeah. And speaking of Pennsylvania and convenience stores, dude, Wawa. I actually want to go to Wawa. I have heard so many things about Wawa, and not only have I heard so many things about Wawa, I've heard that their sub sandwiches are the bomb. I mean, like, so tell me about the sub sandwiches at Wawa, you guys. Yeah, and where exactly? Radio Kihei is wonderful, and the commercials and DJ tracks are hilarious and great. I agree. I agree. I really, really like Radio Kihei. Yeah, that is, yep. So, okay, so eMusic, you'll be getting a few each time. Excellent. Yeah, so if that's the case, then get 3, 4, and 5 to start with. That's my suggestion to you. And yeah, as far as like the digital downloads versus the CDs, digital downloads, you're obviously going to get quicker and easier because Lono just has to email them to you. The CDs, you have to, for the most part, if you do want to order a CD, I don't think that there's a way on his website to order a CD through. I think like only one of them looks like it's available on CD on the website. Like it has like a buy this CD button, whatever, but it doesn't matter, because even if you hit the digital download, there's a little message box when you're ordering that you can just put in, hey, I don't want the digital download. I want you to send me a CD. Please send this CD to this address, please. And Lono will see that, and he'll either burn you the CD, or if it's already been printed, he'll send you a copy of the CD. Some of the CDs are out of print, and so he's just going to be burning you a CD, which you could do with a digital download. Some of the CDs are not all the way out of print and sold out yet, so some of the CDs you will actually be getting a CD with liner notes, etc., etc. I personally only got the digital downloads, and I will confess, as a liner note junkie, I do think I chose wrong. So if you are a liner note junkie, I strongly suggest that you maybe think about buying the CDs as opposed to the digital downloads. That being said, you're going to get the digital download a lot quicker. Now, I think Photo Luke and a couple other people have implied that when you get the digital download, you'll get it immediately. That is not the case at all. Lono actually is gonna have to email you a copy with the link to download it. He's a one-man band, so like it might be 24 hours before you get that email. It might be a little while. So if you order the digital download and then like you don't have it immediately right away, and there's not like a link that pops up or whatever, don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. You're going to get an email eventually, within 24 hours, most likely. I mean, I'm not making any promises. I don't know, but it's always been within 24 hours for me. You will get the link, and it'll be, it'll be like a zip file, and, you'll download it, and there you go. You'll have it. But yeah, I know that a couple people were like, well, I ordered it, but I didn't get anything. And it was like, well, when did you order it? It's like, well, 5 minutes ago. And it's like, well, no, you're not going to get it in 5 minutes. So don't go ordering a download thinking you're going to be able to download it like right now. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to wait a minute. Yeah, so there you go. That's how that works. Let's see here. If I were forced to pick an album that has amazing songs that you may have not heard on Andy's videos, it would be OS2. Yeah, well, yeah. OS1 and OS2 are definitely by far the most traditional, in the sense that the majority of the songs are, actually, it might not just be the majority. I think maybe all of them are traditional Hawaiian songs. Like, they are not Lono originals. They're originals in the sense that it's his performance, but they are not songs necessarily that he wrote. They're songs that are traditional Hawaiian songs. So if you do want to go super traditional, then Old School 1 and 2, the Brown and the Blue albums, are the ones that you want to get. I didn't even think about that, actually. Thanks for bringing that up, Anne. That's a really good point. Yeah, okay, so eMusic, if you're a liner note junkie, then my suggestion to you would be to get the CDs when you can. Like I said, though, some of the CDs are not going to have liner notes because he is literally just going to be sending you a burned copy. But I'm pretty sure Old School 2 still comes with liner notes, so you might want to snag that one. Okay, OS2 does have a bunch of Lono originals that are some of your favorites. Okay, maybe it's just OS1 that's the traditional one. I don't have my spreadsheet open, so I can't tell you who they are. But yeah, let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something here. Let's see, what can I do while I do this? All right, hold on. Now I'm very curious. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to look up my spreadsheet, my Lono spreadsheet of all who did all of who wrote the songs, et cetera, but I will wait for another day for that. So let's see here. Yeah, I can't remember, I think that most of them on 2 are actually not. I feel like most of them are, the first 2 albums are pretty much, I might be remembering wrong, but I feel like a lot of them are not his originals. They really are the traditionals. That's true. Ukulele is a Lono song. And that is on OS2. That is true. Yeah, and Lono plays the voice of God in that particular song. And Yeah, the kid who sings that song, oh God, I can't remember his name, but he was the grandson of another famous Hawaiian performer that I can't remember. I need to get my stupid liner notes out. We're going to have a whole Lonobrarian section maybe on Sunday where we can talk about that. Yeah, ukulele is totally his. Not only is ukulele his, ukulele can also be found on Heavy on Hawaiian Style. And the Heavy on Hawaiian Style version is the one that Lono sings on. Whereas on Old Style 2, it's the kid, I want to say his name's like Kuioli or something like that. It's the kid who's singing it. And if I remember the story correctly, and I might not be, but I think I am, it was Auntie Genoa who said to Lono, that song needs to have a kid singing it. And so let me find you a kid to sing that, because that song, Ukulele, is a song that's written from a child's perspective, and a kid needs to be singing it. And so the recording on Old Style 2, is the recording that got Auntie Genoa's seal of approval, from my understanding. And Belly Bear, are we Lono groupies? Ha! Yeah, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm the Lonobrarian, so I'm supposed to know all this stuff, right? That's my excuse. That's my excuse. And, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that I've been accused of being a groupie. No, it would not. So, yeah, whatever. Call me what you want. Yeah, exactly. And Michael Anthony Smith, we love Lono music. You know, seriously, I have never come across a performer that I've played for so many people and have had every single person just be like, oh yeah, I like that. That's good. I mean, like, music generally is not so universally palatable, you know? I mean, like, generally speaking, there's somebody who's like, oh no, I don't like that. That's not my style. Oh no, he's like, oh no. And every single person I've ever played Lono music for is just like, oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. So, you know, I don't know. I feel like he's the universe. I think that the whole world would be a Lono fan if they just knew. And yep, and you're right. Groupie does have other connotations. That's why I like to refer to myself as the Lonobrarian, because, yeah, you know, because Lono doesn't tour, so he doesn't have any groupies anymore, right? Okay, now I'm just cracking myself up. Anyway, yeah, so let's see. Okay, yeah, so we talked about Lono stuff, and let's see here. Belly Bear. Right, even your younger son likes Lono. He took your Lono black shirt and wears it often. Right, exactly. I mean, like, okay, so my one of my friends, Sasquatch, who shows up every once in a while, I've known him since I was 15. We've known each other since we were 15. He is like totally, you know, into electronic dance music and the club scene and this, that, and the other thing. And his husband is like kind of into country and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, I went over and we had a barbecue. And I put on a mix of Lono, and it didn't matter if it was traditional style or the Hawaiian fun jams. Every single song that came out of my little speakers, they're just like, oh, awesome. Who's this? And it's like, well, you guys, I told you, it's the Lono playlist. It's Lono still. But yeah, every single song, you know, an electric dance music person and a country music person, neither of whom you would peg as a Lono fan. Yeah, they were fans. They were, as Belly Bear says, they were fans of Lono. Absolutely. Let's see here. So Medium 7-Up says, I changed my musician spotlight board, and a first grader asked if I still liked Hawaiian music. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so funny. So, hey, Anwar, your mom listens to Lono's YouTube channel a lot on a laundry day. That works. You know, your mom, you should maybe, I don't think this song is on his YouTube channel, but you should maybe play for your mom what is it on? I want to say it's on I don't remember what Old Style it's on, but it's a Kavela Washerwoman. It's an instrumental, but, it's all about doing the laundry, actually. So, sounds like a perfect song for laundry day. Thank you, eMusic. Coming up on 10 minutes before Andy. That's right. And speaking of which, reminder to everybody, in case you guys weren't here at the beginning. So obviously today, being Thursday, it's an Andy day. So we're going to head over to Andy. But next Thursday, we're going to actually be on Twitch. That way, when it's time to go over to Andy's, we can actually raid Andy on Twitch. So next Thursday, this show will still be on the same time, but it'll be a different, what was it that Ann said? Same chat time, different chat channel. So we'll be on Twitch instead of on YouTube. And so, yeah. So just remember, if you come to YouTube on Thursday next week, and you're like, what's the deal, man? I don't see anything. That's right, you're not going to see anything. I'm going to be over on Twitch. We're making a switch to Twitch. And so let's see here. So yeah, I was just listening to Heavy on Hawaiian Style, Michael Anthony Smith today, and I really like it too. When I got Heavy on Hawaiian Style, I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't a full Lono album. And so it kind of sunk to my lower on the playlist priorities. But it has since, I've since dug it back out, and it's really, it's a fun album. It's a good album. It's a really good album. And the fact that I think it's like 4 Lono songs and like 5 other different artists. It's a really nice mix. It's, it's got some chicks, it's got some dudes, it's got Kenny Roberts, it's got, everything. It's good. Yeah, it's a good one. And okay, so Michael Anthony Smith, Wawa does make good sandwiches. Yeah, I've read that their sandwiches are like award-winning practically. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, and like the same bat time, same bat channel. Exactly. So Belly Bear, no, I can't post it because of technical reasons, not because of anything. But basically, it's madstatter, all one word, at Gmail. Madstatter at Gmail. It's not even a problem. In fact, I think if you look on my YouTube profile, there's a link to my email somewhere in that profile. Like in maybe the community tab or maybe the about tab. It's like contact this streamer. It's out there. But anyway, it's madstatter at gmail.com. So hit me up. So madstatter at gmail.com. Hit me up for whatever. But also this Sunday, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be on YouTube, and we're going to be talking about paranormal activities and spooky stories that you might have had, because this Sunday is Halloween. And so if you guys have any kind of scary story that you want to tell, get them ready for Sunday so we can hit them up in the chat. And if it's too long of a story to bother with the little chat, because I think you're only allowed 200 or 300 characters per post. So if it's too long of a story to piecemeal post in the chat, and you want to share the story anyway, email me the details, and then I'll just read your long email. I'll maybe even post it so everybody else can read it, and we can hear the story that way. So this Sunday, try to get your little spooky stories ready, and so that's the plan for this Sunday. And I think that's all. No, I know there's more that I wanted to say, but I can't remember any of it, so we're not gonna talk about it, I guess. Yes, Belly Bear, it will be a spooktacular event after. Yes, it will be so spooky. And even though I spent way too much time talking about the saga of it earlier, I will remind you all, this Saturday, Statterbox at the cinema, we will be watching CoCo. It will be a bit of a hamajang version of CoCo for reasons I will talk about on Saturday again. I already explained the situation at the beginning, but if you weren't at the beginning of this show and you come to Statterbox at the cinema, you'll hear all about it again, because Disney is on to me. The machines know what I'm trying to do. Gall dung it. And where? Do they have to be true spooky stories, or can they be fiction? Ooh, well, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I was just thinking about, like, scary stuff that has actually happened to us, but I don't know. If you've got a good spooky fiction story, oh, why not, right? I mean, you can always pretend it's real. No, I don't. Yeah, gosh, why not? I mean, I don't know. Sure, let's do that too. So just get your spooky stories together. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Now, don't be hitting me up with any kind of like Edgar Allan Poe spooky story that we already know. We don't want no Nevermores. We don't want no The Beating Heart under the closet, not under the closet, under the floor. I don't remember. A Telltale Heart. We don't need any of that kind of stuff. But yeah. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Devin, read from the Scary Stories book. Okay. Belly Bear, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly. It's like maybe make us guess to see if it's real or fake. So there we go. Well, that'll be a fun game. Yeah, do that. Let's do that. And where Disney always has great copyright tech and protection, even on old videotapes. Not at all surprised. And when I did buy this DVD, I was 99% sure I was not going to be able to rip a copy of it the way I do with most of the DVDs. And I was correct. But I found a way around. It's a very old-fashioned way, and it's a hamajang way, and it's, well, a bootleg way, but we're going to watch CoCo. Disney be damned. We're going to watch CoCo. And yeah, that's probably going to be my famous last words. Why did Molly get taken off to jail for 47 years? And how did she lose her house to Disney? Oh, because she insisted on playing CoCo. And I will be carted away saying, and I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for your meddling kids or whatever. And then I'd do it again too. I regret nothing. So, oh, crumb. All right, so it looks like my clock is a couple minutes short. And it looks like Andy is actually live, according to a couple people's posts. So we are going to be wrapping this up, perhaps a little bit early, but we don't want to miss the Daily Pigeon. So I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight at Chatter with Statter. We're going to be here 4:30 p.m. on YouTube on Sunday. Get your spooky stories ready. We're going to be Statterbox at the Cinema on Twitch on Saturday. And you know what we're going to be. We're going to be CoCo. Thursday is when we're going to switch over to Twitch, and I'll see you there. But until I see you there, I hope to see you at Daily Pigeon, because I'm going to be there in just a few minutes. So thank you so much for heading out, or for hanging out, and let's all do a manual raid to YouTube. Wait, we're already on YouTube. Let's do a manual raid to Daily Pigeon channel on YouTube, or Twitch, or both. And yeah, wrapping it up. We'll see you soon. Take care.